Welcome to Ask Polymath Geddy. I am Polymath Geddy, your polymathic source for all information, knowledge, wisdom, advice, and personal direction. Send your emails to me on any question you may have about pretty much anything, and I will try to answer it. That's what polymaths do. They study everything and try to learn everything and try to help everyone with everything that they know. We have a question from Kate. She failed to mention where she's from, but I know her from YouTube, actually, from my other account, Mr. Depness. For those of you that know, I was on that account for a number of years. In fact, it's almost 10 years old, so I'm one of the longest standing YouTubers on YouTube pretty much right now, even though I haven't been doing much with that account, and most of my subscribers are in a permanent sleep state. But moving on, her question is simply, my boyfriend went into the Army last year, and after his basic combat training, came home for Christmas and New Year's. At New Year's at midnight, he got on one knee and proposed. After his leave, he went back to do his, his training again. After he came home, 3 months later, decided to break up with me after my dress was paid off. On the same day, he was saying he was sorry that he screwed up. I didn't take the ring back, but we're going through counseling, and we are back on a boyfriend-girlfriend basis. If he loved me, why would he call off the marriage? How will I be able to take him seriously in the next big decision he makes? Without doubt. Will we ever get married? If I don't think so, then should I sell my dress? Okay, so I have a good idea of what you're saying. Basically, it comes down to this. First of all, you have to think of why would he call off the marriage? There's a number of reasons he might call off the marriage. For one, reality might have settled in. He might have not realized what he was saying when he said it, and now it's starting to become a reality to him, and he's not sure he's ready for that reality. That's a pretty big change, a pretty big step to take, especially assuming that you mean what you say and you're not planning on going back. That's quite a life change. So maybe he wasn't ready for it in that sense. Another possibility would be his perspective changed, his outlook on what marriage is and what he wants from life, and what he thinks about you and how he understands the relationship, and as a totality, that could have changed. So that should be considered as well. Another thing could be he might have been influenced by someone or something in his life. There may be a trigger that has catapulted him into a different direction to make him see things in a different way that he didn't see before, and if he would have, he might not have ever proposed to begin with. That's another option or another possibility to consider. Or there's also the possibility that he could have had a change of heart. Maybe he just doesn't feel the way he did before. Maybe he is confused. Maybe he's conflicted. I don't know. There could be a number of issues. There could be even more than one. I think it's surprising that you haven't asked him already what the reason might have been. You probably should have done that first before coming and asking me the question. You might have already had your answer. So that's something worth considering. Ask him, why did you change your mind and what's going on? You're going from one extreme to the other and now you're staying in the middle again. What's going on? Like, what do you want here? Do you know what you want? Seriously, where do I place myself in this situation? How do what you want and what I want line up? How do they match? You have to ask them that and really get down to a serious conversation if you're really talking about marriage already. I mean, I think you are kind of young, but you're already talking about marriage, so apparently you're ready for that, or I'm thinking you are. So in that case, I would suggest you really get serious with this conversation and find out what he wants and what you want, and come to some kind of terms together that you know you're not going to back out from later, because it's really important that you don't back out later, since marriage is supposed to be a contract, which I personally don't agree with, because you are agreeing to sign a contract with the government. And I don't think the government should be involved at all for any reason whatsoever. It's none of their damn business. But that aside, you are making this decision, and I think it's important that you both come to terms with what exactly you want and be sure of it and project yourself into that future. Imagine you already being there and what your mindset might be like if you already made that choice and you were on the other side of that decision. And then ask yourself, is this what I want? Try to put yourself in a trance in a way and imagine you are already married and ask yourself, do I like this? And then you'll see yourself dealing with situations that you probably haven't dealt with before, or seeing it from a different perspective, and that'll really give you an idea of whether or not you're ready, whether or not this is for you. Okay? As far as the dress goes, if it's something that you really wanted, if it's exactly the dress you were looking for, if it matches the vision that you have for yourself to wear it, then I would suggest, whether you marry him or not, whether you see him or not, or whatever, keep it as a symbol or as an icon as to what you want to be or what you want to achieve. Let it be a reminder for you to one day have that marriage or have that wedding or whatever you're asking for. However, that could be a little bit overbearing, especially if you don't marry this guy and you start dating someone else who sees you with a wedding gown in your closet, like, what the heck's going on? You're like plotting to marry someone? Is it me? Is it someone else? That can freak people out fast. So, I don't know. If it's something that you really want, I think you should keep it, but you should put it in storage. Put it someplace you're not going to see it often, but just know that it's there. And know that you can always draw back to it if needed. And of course, check up on it every once in a while to make sure it's in good condition. But don't just give it away if it's something that you strive to get. If it's just any old bride gown, whatever, get rid of it. You can always replace it. But if it's something that you had to find and looked long and hard for, or it really matches the specific description of what you were looking for, then it's not worth losing that and trying to have to find it later. So hold on to it if that's the case. So I hope I answered your question. There could be a number of reasons why he would back out. And I think the main reason was reality was starting to settle in. But he could have had a change of heart. He could have had different influences come in and give him a different perspective. Maybe his situation changed. Maybe his finances changed. Maybe things were not as stable as he thought they would be, and felt afraid that if he made commitment to something, he wouldn't be able to follow through for reasons outside of his control. That can be an issue too. Like I said, you have to really communicate with him. I'm not in his head, and it can be a number of issues that he is dealing with. So the best thing for you to do would be to talk to him, get the answer from him. But I gave you a number of very plausible and highly likely scenarios that, and I'm pretty sure at least one of them are the reason. So talk to him and find out what it is, and hopefully that will solve your problem. Until then, you know where to find me, AskPolymathGeddy and Mr. Deafness. Send your questions, everyone, to AskPolymathGeddy@gmail.com, and I will try to get to you guys shortly. Thank you very much. Take care.